This is on Menn-O-Light Radio, here with Wolves at the Gate. You want to state your name?
Yeah, what's up, guys? I'm Nick from Wolves at the Gate. I'm the lead vocalist. It's good to meet y'all.
I'm going to be honest with you, I really don't know too much about your music. My friend's more into the rock
all the
and
harder stuff. Yeah,
so,
sure.
I'm just doing an interview, but how'd you get started with your music?
So what happened is about 8 years ago, or a little over 8 years ago now, Ben and Steve, our guitar player and our bassist, actually met in college in Cedarville University in Ohio near Dayton. And they started a 5-piece, post-hardcore band, which actually wasn't Wolves at the Gate for maybe a split second, but then it became Wolves at the Gate.
So get it on.
You want to get it? Okay.
There, yeah.
But they started and they went through a lot of drummer changes, and eventually 4 years later it came upon me and my local band in Ohio, and we played a show together, and we just kind of clicked. And they were like, their vocalist was leaving, who was Colin, who was married and has 3 kids now, so he was doing the family thing, which is awesome. And then I was just kind of this kid that was just like, hey, I don't really have a job. Let's go tour, So we did our first couple of tours as a tryout, and it just went on from there. And then we just kept going through drummer changes, and here we are as a 4-piece now.
Okay. And then I guess other question I got for you is, at Menn-O-Light we kind of do this thing. We go around and we had different people that would tell us their Jesus story, how they came to Jesus and stuff.
Sure.
How did you personally come to the saving knowledge of Jesus Christ?
So, as a kid, I grew up in church. I grew up going to a lot of different churches through childhood, and then going up even through being a teenager. I grew up going to, I've been to, I feel like all of them. I've been to Catholic, I've been to Pentecostal. I grew up as a Baptist and a Protestant because my parents were divorced and they went to 2 different churches for the first 15, 16 years of my life, for a long time. So it was just one of those things that I pretty much church hopped for all my life and didn't really truly know the Lord. And so I just kind of did my own thing. I went to a Christian college thinking that was my source of, redemption or whatever, just because I thought I was a Christian kid. And I actually got in trouble with the law a lot. I was getting in trouble with the cops a lot, and just getting into fights and getting mixed up with some really bad people, and just a lot of situations that just weren't good. And what had happened was it actually took me getting arrested eventually while I was in college, to finally start feeling that wake up call, essentially, and the Lord really grabbed a hold of me. And then shortly after that, a few months after I got all that settled and was going through my probation and everything, I actually met the guys in Wolves at the Gate during that season where they were going through changes, and right before they got signed to Solid State. And that just kind of the whole transition was totally a God thing, because they were getting ready to get signed and start touring full time, and here was this kid that had no idea who knew what he was doing. And to be honest, it was totally a God thing, because during actually while I was at home, I was living with my dad at the time, and while I was at home, I was listening to Heralds, which is one of our songs from our EP called We Are the Ones, and from a long time ago, before I was even in the band. And I was practicing Heralds, and I was actually just sitting and listening and reading the lyrics, and talked about God's grace and the commission that we have to go out and to preach the gospel, and how important and how real.
Can you go back on?
I'm sorry?
Can you guys go back on?
Can we? I wish. That would be awesome. But
so good. This is...
Dude, thank you. I appreciate it. I don't know. Maybe you can edit that out.
Just leave it in there.
Whatever,
Right.
But the crazy thing is that God showed me the beauty in His character, and showed me how real in my life, and how evident He was, in showing me that I needed a Savior, and showing me that how much of a mess that I truly was, and still am, honestly, still am.
Yeah.
And honestly, just He grabbed a hold of me, and He came to me and said, dude, let's get to work. So that's, and like that's, and my eyes were open. I bawled, like, I mean, not to make it cliche, like I bawled like a baby. I mean, but I did, like, because I realized the weight of my sin, like, and not even to the fullest extent, because none of us really do as humans, but like God had shown me I was sinning against Him. He had revealed a fraction of the weight to me, and it crushed me. It did. And I truly saw a good God, and I was no longer angry and bitter and apathetic.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I'm gonna be honest. When y'all first went on the stage, and I'm hearing y'all, I'm just like, whoa, what's going on here? You know what I mean? And I mean, I've heard other bands kind of like backstage royalty and different things, and I was just like, what's going on here? Because I don't really know too much about it. But then when the dude, at the end, when the dude starts, and a bunch of people from my church, Rockville Mennonite Church, there's a bunch of Mennonites in there, so they're like, what is going on? And then when the dude started speaking, he really said some stuff that blew my mind, you know what I mean? And then I realized that, even though I didn't understand everything that was, being said in the music, you know what I mean? Because it's not typically what I listen to. I seen how, other people were reached by the message and heard the gospel, the people that, the message hit everybody. Yeah, I mean, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to check out your band, and
cool.
I'm going to give it a listen to, and, maybe you want a fan with it, but hey, the most important part is the saving knowledge of Jesus Christ. And,
that's right. Yeah, I could, honestly, man, I couldn't care less if you walked away from this liking or hating our band, but if it means that you got to hear the goodness of God's grace and His mercy in your life on a day, like that He grants us on a daily basis, like that is the most important part. Like that is literally one of the biggest reasons, like I love to play music and I love to do all that, but that is why I'm here. Like I wouldn't be doing all of this if it wasn't for God's grace and His mercy. So.
And I mean, it sounded good. I'm not saying it didn't. It sounded good, so I don't want you to think I'm saying it was bad.
Well, that's a bonus. Though,
I personally, I grew up listening to rap, so I didn't really, what I mean? But I'm going to give it a listen to.
Cool.
So,
thanks, man.
And that is Wolves at the Gate on Menn-O-Light Radio. Thanks for the interview.